Thank you for subscribing to our channel. Today is Tuesday, May 25, 2021. Al Jazeera report: country has no future, Iraqi protester killed at Baghdad rally. One demonstrator has been shot dead and dozens injured during violence at a rally in Baghdad where thousands gathered to demand accountability for the murder of prominent Iraqi activists and protesters. What kicked off on Tuesday morning as a hopeful wave of demonstrations in Tahrir Square saw tensions brew throughout the day and violence between protesters and security forces erupt early evening. Videos shared on social media showed tear gas, live fire and chaos reminiscent of October 2019 when the nationwide social uprising first began and several protesters were shot dead by security forces.
Fox report. Pope mourns Italy cable car dead, prays for Little Eaton. Rome. Pope Francis offered prayers Tuesday for Little Eaton, the lone survivor of a cable car disaster in northern Italy that left 14 people dead when the lead cable snapped and the emergency brake failed to engage. Francis sent a telegram to the local bishop offering his condolences to the families of the people who died when their cable car cabin plunged to the ground Sunday. They were tragically lost while immersed in the marvels of creation, the Pope said.
Al Jazeera report: Armenia says soldier killed in border shootout with Azeri forces. Armenia has said one of its soldiers was killed in a border shootout with Azerbaijani forces, with tensions still high after last September's war over the disputed Nagorno-Karabakh region. Armenia's Ministry of Defense said on Tuesday that the shootout took place on its eastern border with Azerbaijan. It later said the situation was calm, after a skirmish at the Varan-Shorza border point in Armenia's eastern Gegakunik district.
BBC report. Regeni murder. Italy orders 4 Egyptians to stand trial. Giulio Regeni, a Cambridge University postgraduate student, disappeared in January 2016. His body was so badly disfigured his mother could barely identify him. The 4 members of the Egyptian security forces are unlikely to travel to Rome for the 14th of October trial. The murder has heightened tensions between the two countries. Italian and Egyptian investigators had originally tried to work on the case together, but when Rome prosecutors pushed for a trial in late 2020, their counterparts in Cairo said there was insufficient evidence to support the accusation in court.
BBC report: COVID, Hong Kong could end up throwing away unused jabs. The territory currently has around 2 million Pfizer shots that will be out of date in 3 months. Less than 20% of people have had a jab, even though Hong Kong has more than enough doses for the whole population. The low take-up rate has been blamed on a relatively low number of infections and distrust of the government. An official from the government's vaccine task force warned that Hong Kongers only have a 3-month window before the first batch of Pfizer-BioNTech vaccines goes out of date.
Fox report. Massachusetts defrocked priest Richard Levine carried out 1972 murder of Danny Croteau. Prosecutors. Massachusetts authorities investigating the 1972 murder of a 13-year-old altar boy have determined that a defrocked Roman Catholic priest who recently died was his killer, bringing an end to a cold case that had remained unsolved for nearly half a century. Hampton District Attorney Anthony Gallooni announced Monday that his office was preparing to prosecute Richard Levine, the longtime suspect in 13-year-old Danny Croteau's death.
Deutsche Welle report: Iran approves ultraconservative candidates for presidential vote. Iran's Guardian Council on Tuesday approved 7 hopefuls to run in June's presidential poll. One of the early favorites was ultraconservative Judiciary Chief Ibrahim Raisi. He won 38% of the vote in the 2017 elections, but was defeated by current President Hassan Rouhani, who is constitutionally barred from running for a 3rd term. Raisi is also believed to be a favorite of Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei.
Fox report. Who is Belarus journalist arrested on diverted Ryanair flight? As international reaction to Belarus' audacious act of airplane piracy comes fast and furious, those who know the journalist snatched off that Ryanair flight Sunday worry deeply about his fate and that of the many other reporters and bloggers now languishing in Belarusian prisons. For us it's very close. Alexander Lukashuk, the director the Belarus service of Radio Free Europe, Radio Liberty, RFE, RL, told Fox News.
CNN report: this company wants to deliver your groceries in 10 minutes. A German e-commerce startup wants to disrupt the New York City grocery market with deliveries to customers' apartments in 10 minutes or less. Gorillas, founded last year in Berlin and now available in more than 25 European cities, will begin deliveries in a handful of Brooklyn neighborhoods this month. Brooklyn will be Gorilla's first location in the United States, and it plans to expand into Manhattan next month.
Deutsche Welle report. Russia. Alexei Navalny says he is facing 3 new probes. Jailed Kremlin critic Alexei Navalny said Tuesday that he is facing 3 additional criminal probes. "My influential criminal syndicate is growing," Navalny quipped in an Instagram post, adding that more than 20 investigators were involved in the fresh allegations. "I am a genius and puppet master of the criminal underworld," he said. Investigators were looking into the theft of donations from his anti-corruption foundation, FBK, creating an organization in violation of human rights, and insulting a judge.
BBC report. Peker videos, gang leaders claims rattle Turkish government. The 7th video, broadcast by Sedat Peker on Sunday, has had more than 12 million page views. Interior Minister Süleyman Soylu has called for an inquiry into his claims and for him to be charged with slander. Peker, 49, says he is now in Dubai. He served several jail terms in Turkey. He began posting the videos in early May after a police operation targeted him and his gang. He fled Turkey last year to avoid prosecution, and was previously jailed for fraud and running a criminal group.
Al Jazeera report. George Floyd's family urges Congress to pass police reform bill. The family of George Floyd met on the anniversary of his death with top legislators in the United States Congress and President Joe Biden to push for passage of police reform legislation stalled by policy disputes. Handcuffed and lying face down in the street, Floyd was killed by police in Minneapolis on May 25 a year ago when one of the officers put the weight of his knee on Floyd's neck for about 9 minutes.
CNN report. Archaeologists recover victims of the Spanish Civil War. Archaeologists have recovered the bodies of victims of former Spanish dictator General Francisco Franco who were executed and buried at a cemetery in central Spain. The team of forensic archaeologists and anthropologists are working to find, exhume and identify those who were killed by the Franco regime at the cemetery in the town of Almagro between 1939 and 1940, at the end of the Spanish Civil War, according to a press release from Cranfield University published Monday.
CNN report. Airbnb CEO. Business travel won't ever go back to what it was pre-pandemic. Airbnb CEO Brian Chesky said travel demand is rebounding, but he doesn't expect business travel to ever return to the way it was before the pandemic. "It doesn't mean business travel is dead. Just business travel as we knew it isn't coming back the way it was," Chesky said in an interview with CNN's Poppy Harlow on Tuesday. "The reason why is the bar is higher to get on a plane to do a meeting, as people have largely been grounded for more than a year." Chesky said there's been a realization that much of what workers once traveled for work-wise can be done remotely.
Fox report. Jeffrey Epstein cell guards get 100 hours of community service. Judge allows. A federal judge approved an agreement on Tuesday that will let Jeffrey Epstein's guards skirt jail time. Instead, Tova Noel and Michael Thomas will each perform 100 hours of community service. According to the deal, you shall complete 100 documented hours of community service, preferably related to the criminal justice system, including working with recently released inmates, said Southern District of New York Judge Annalisa Torres at a virtual conference on Tuesday.
CNN report. Indian police visit Twitter after it labels a tweet from Narendra Modi's party. Twitter's decision to label a tweet from a leading member of India's governing party as manipulated media could make things even harder for the company in a key market. Police visited Twitter's TWTR offices in the capital Delhi and nearby city of Gurugram late on Monday to order the social media giant to cooperate with an investigation into a tweet posted earlier this month by a member of the Bharatiya Janata Party, BJP.
Deutsche Welle report. Mali coup leader fires Prime Minister and President. Malian interim Vice President Assimi Goïta on Tuesday announced the firing of President Ba Nda and Prime Minister Mokhtar Wan. The pair were arrested a day earlier, after a cabinet reshuffle in which 2 of Goïta's fellow coup leaders were dropped from the government. The detentions were widely condemned by the international community. Goïta said he ousted the interim president and prime minister because they failed to consult with him about the nomination of the new government.
Thank you for watching 5 p.m. recap. To be notified, you can subscribe our channel and activate the bell.